Monday, April 28th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Lot to talk about. Let's get right into it here this morning. First of all, there's a look back at our highs from yesterday. What a warm Sunday it was all around the region. Almost 90 in Columbia and pretty close to 90 in Fayetteville and Wilmington. It was mid-80s in Charlotte and Greensboro, even close to 80 in Boone and exceeding 80 in Asheville yesterday. 50s in the northeastern part of the state currently, and then some of those 50s trying to work southwestward as a little backdoor cold front is moving through, but still 67 in Charlotte and 70 in Columbia. Notice those east and northeasterly winds in places like Greensboro and Raleigh, even Fayetteville and Elizabeth City there. That is that front trying to push further to the south. Now, very, very impressive low pressure area. Focused over parts of the plain states, and we're going to see these little pieces of energy pivoting around that big upper air low from time to time and just cause one wave of rain and storms across the south and the southeast after another over the next several days. Now there's a peek at the overall setup today. Surface cold front way to the west. That's not going to get here anytime soon in terms of that front trailing from the low. Now again, this backdoor cold front is moving in. It will be stalling out. And as it stalls out, it will then begin to lift back northward as a warm front. And that's going to be a focusing mechanism over the next 24 hours at least for some areas of showers and thunderstorms. Now we have some areas of shower activity moving through parts of our region this morning. Most of this is relatively light. We also are seeing some scattered showers and storms firing off in eastern Tennessee up into Kentucky. And then you get into the main area of rain and storms from southeastern Missouri down through Arkansas into Louisiana and Texas, and that is that continued severe weather event ongoing. Lots of severe weather with the system over the past 24 hours. Tragic tornadoes in some areas, including Arkansas yesterday evening, and this is going to be a multi-day severe weather episode that affects a lot of places. So here's the surface map today. That cold front will make a little bit more southward progress before stalling out and then lifting northward as a warm front. The bottom line is it's really tough to key on any overly specific time periods for greatest thunderstorm threats really at any point in time. Over the next, say, 3 days, the Carolinas ripe for the chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms. So as we go on into tonight, that warm front begins to lift to the north, and same story tomorrow. So we're looking at continued opportunities for areas of showers and thunderstorms. And Wednesday, the actual cold front begins to approach. So continued very good chances of rain and storms. And I'll give you the overview of the SPC outlooks and then show you the detailed information in just a second. Moderate risk covering Middle Tennessee down into northwestern Alabama and a good chunk of Mississippi. Interestingly, the SPC pulled the slight risk out of the Carolinas with the day one outlook when it transitioned from day two to day one. It's interesting reading some of the Weather Service discussions. There's a little bit of disagreement that should have occurred. But either way, I do think we'll need to monitor this afternoon and tonight the chance of a couple of strong to severe storms here across the Carolinas at least. And then certainly there come your severe weather risk areas tomorrow. That's the standard slight risk covering much of the region. Wednesday as well. Now, rainfall totals, we're going to be probably going to be pretty generous. There's the broad perspective on the RPM model. And that's actually some 5, 6, 7-inch rain totals in parts of the foothills there, that bright yellow shading you see. European, 2 to 3 inches in many spots. GFS, very much the same as well. So a lot of rain in addition to the severe weather threat coming up over the next several days. So here's the more detailed setup a lot. Big upper level low, and again, occasionally we're seeing these little spokes of energy pivot around the upper level low, and that's going to trigger around to these rain and thunderstorms. This is the setup for Tuesday evening, heading into Tuesday night, and notice not a whole lot of change. These continued spokes of energy moving on through. So European showing you that healthy round of rain and storms around here by later tomorrow and tomorrow evening, and then Wednesday still looks quite active as well. So let me get into the severe weather specifics here. Now, first of all, there's a compilation of the storm reports from yesterday, including that long track tornado through Arkansas. There's your day one, moderate risk in the areas I mentioned, the tornado probabilities. That's a hatch 15% area, and the moderate risk area, I mean the hatching of course means the possibility of strong or violent tornadoes is enhanced in that area. Wind probabilities of around 30% in the in the moderate risk in surrounding areas, and the hail probability is very high too. Let's go to day 2. All right, there's your categorical slight risk, and your probabilities showing you the greatest severe weather threat tomorrow, probably down closer to the Gulf Coast. But again, we need to monitor things very closely up here. Finally, day 3, and we're looking at the highest probabilities kind of centered over the Carolinas for the Wednesday and Wednesday evening time periods. So it looks like an active several days ahead. Anybody in the southeast, you need to have a very reliable way of hearing severe weather watches and warnings if and when they're required. And of course, here in the Time Warner Cable viewing area, we are going to keep you, as always, completely up to date with any severe weather that moves through our region on television. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, have a great day, and God bless.